And a big good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to RTA Virtual Motorsports. It's Tuesday evening, you know what that means. We've got a fabulous evening of action ahead of us, live from the Algarve International Circuit here in Portugal. We had a lot of rain in Donington Park. It is a beautiful sunny day here in Portimao. It's felt like Portimao in Ireland the last couple of days. It was a little bit more of a taste of reality today, but the sun is shining here. Alongside myself, of course, is Ronan and Hederman behind the scenes, but the man joining me on the stream tonight, as ever, it is Mr. Kieran McGinley. Kieran, we have a fabulous race coming up tonight, I think.
We do indeed, yes, here in the sunny Algarve here at Portimao, and it's quite literally the Portuguese roller coaster. So much undulation changes. In fact, along the start-finish straight, you rise over a crest, and as you head down towards Primeira, you head away down a crest again in towards the very first corner. Now, my Portuguese is as good as my Dutch. It's absolutely abysmal, but you know it's a great circuit. Even though it was only opened in 2008, the fact that we go by corner names here rather than by corner numbers, you already know this was a track that means business.
It is a track that means business, and I tell you what, it is a track that some drivers have had a lot of trouble with during practice. We are reaching track temperatures of in and around the 50s here today. 53 degrees was reported from Sean McGoldrick last night after the practice. He was not happy, I can tell you that for free. Which means it's very different to Donington Park, and although, Kieran, last week we had a fantastic evening in Donington, it's almost kind of like a new round again, because everything has sort of changed since last week.
It has, yeah. Drivers will really have to be careful about their tyres. Yes, these are 10, 15, 20 minutes respectively, but you've got to be so careful about not overheating these tyres, and that's easier said than done. You saw on the graphic there, 54 degrees Celsius. The track temperature here, which is use your conversion rate for Fahrenheit, which I'll have to do off screen just to see how hot that is in Fahrenheit, but I know it's a lot. So this is going to be really tricky for the drivers, and of course there's a lot of high speed corners. We're right on board with Peter McCann. It's that front left tyre, it being a clockwise circuit, you see there Peter McCann dropping the back end. That's only a preview of what's to come tonight. Does he keep it out of the wall? Yeah, he does actually. Fair play, Peter, for keeping that one out of the wall, losing it at probably one of the fastest places on this circuit. That front left tyre is going to take an absolute beating. So keeping your tyres in good nick, choosing your battles will be the order of the day today.
Yeah, we had a great week last week in Donington Park. I tell you what, it was absolute chaos for the most part, but it was fantastic nonetheless. It was a similar theme to our GT4 Cup, however. It was Jordan Kelly who managed to take the Heat 1 win and Heat 2, as well as taking the pole position, of course. That gives him the championship lead for this evening. It was young Dylan McClements who took the win in Heat number 3. You can see the order on your screen now. It is Jordan Kelly ahead of Jason Smith. Well, I know we say Portimao is a bit of a roller coaster, but Jason Smith had a bit of a roller coaster week last week. He was up and down the grid, involved in incidents, but still second in the championship. Dylan McClements in third on 61, then Rory O'Shea in fourth. Sean McGoldrick in fifth ahead of Sean McClements in sixth. Ronan Darty then in seventh, tied on points with Peter McCann just ahead of another two tied on points. That's Brian McManus and Kevin Joyce. You may notice an absence of the Dr. Naveed Hussain. He didn't pick up any points last week as he didn't register on the website. Remember, you can check out rtavirtualmotorsport.com if you want to check out more about RTA. But Kieran, look, it's only after 1 week in the championship. I think it's safe to say that nothing has been decided in terms of who our challengers are in this title battle.
No, absolutely not. It's Jamal Gandor's got a very groovy livery there. Yeah, it's very much open for anybody here. And we saw, as you said, a little bit of hectic happenings at Donington last week, and there's a little bit of a spinner just up ahead of Jamal Gandor as we head to the end of the practice session with Jordan Kelly at the top of the standings. But Jordan Kelly proved last week that it's not going to be all his own way. Yes, he got 2 wins there last week, but he struggled in that third race. He was involved there as the Portuguese Armada floods their way now out onto a bone-dry Portimao circuit to make and start qualifying here for the second round of the series. I'm very much looking forward to Portimao. It's a great circuit. It is criminally underused in top-class motorsport, that's for sure. We remember Formula One visiting here a couple of times, and it's really just a driver's circuit here. Really is something special to really drive around here, and yeah, it's a real shame that we don't go racing here a lot more often in motorsport than we maybe perhaps should do.
Yes, you're absolutely spot on. I think it's a criminally underrated circuit, can provide some great racing, and we're hoping for something similar here this evening. We have 31 Dallara 324s out on the circuit now. Still a new car for us here at RTA. It's the Super Formula Lights car. Super Formula, I believe, was around Autopolis this weekend. Don't quote me on that, however, but certainly this is the feeder series to Super Formula. This is your F2 to your F1, your Indy Lights. Oh, sorry, your Indy Next, they're called now. Yeah, your Indy Next to your Indy car. It is a 3-cylinder 1.6 Toyota TGE 33. That's not an easy phrase to say in an Irish accent. Engine developed by Toms, as we see someone giving us a nice look at that, spinning sideways. Whoever that is an absolute stunning livery.
It is. It's a buzzing Hornet livery, isn't it? Going through there. That was the number 19, which I believe would it have been Tony Stack, perhaps, as we saw there, going around.
Makes sense. I think he's usually in something Jordan related, so it would make sense if it's Tony Stack.
That could be the case there, but yeah, already we're seeing drivers struggling with the heat of the track. Of course, you get about 3 corners in and your tyres are already up to optimal. You've got to be really careful on this outlap just to not take too much after the tyres. 54 degrees Celsius track temperature. I did have to look it up. It's just shy of 130 degrees Fahrenheit, 130. Ooh. So that is a scorcher. There you can see on the right-hand side. That HPA pressure definitely means something to somebody. But to me, it means
Pascals.
There is pressure. Yes, Pascals. That means something to somebody, but
I'm
certainly not to me.
In geography.
I did not.
Well, I gotta have to. But in terms of the car on your screen now, this is Lawrence de Soswa. It wasn't the worst week by Lawrence de Soswa's standard. Certainly had a great heat 3, picking up a 5th place finish. There was not much in terms of heat number 1, and it was a 10th place in heat number 2. But Lawrence, very fond of single-seater cars, I suppose. He expressed that last season. Even though he did very much enjoy the GT4s, he was looking forward to getting back on some single-seater machinery. And Kieran, is it an opportunistic evening maybe for the likes of Lawrence de Soswa, who wouldn't traditionally be, I suppose, your front runners, but in terms of the amount of outliers here with us this evening, it's certainly an opportunity for some of these guys to pick up a big result?
I'd say every week, going from what we saw last week, it's a great chance for anybody to get some real points on the board. And yeah, it was a bit hectic at the start of the series. We were expecting it being the first open wheel series here on RTA for quite some time. Nevertheless, I think on the whole it was all right to watch. We saw some great overtaking action, and we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, because you head your way down towards turn 1, and it's quite a flowing first track section. Your real first heavy braking zone is into Lagos, which is the 3rd turn. So you really have to be careful. It's going to be treacherous through that first corner at the first time of asking.
Yeah, and you can see the corner we're just heading through there, the Torre Veep, turn number 5, uphill sort of left-hander on exit. Going to be great for a dive bomb down the inside. This is the corner named Samsung, uphill right-hander. Not to be confused with the mobile brand, I suppose. A lot of fabulous corners around this Portimao circuit, and I think maybe it's time we have a little bit of a closer look at them. We're going to hop it over to the man currently quickest in this session, Jordan Kelly, who's provided us with another fantastic hot lap, and I'm going to hand it over to Kieran McGinley to run you through it.
Oh no, what a terrible, terrible decision Evan has made. Nevertheless, we will make our way on towards the 2.891 mile circuit, and it is a roller coaster here in Portimao in towards Primera for this corner here. Take plenty of liberty with the curb on the left hand side as you make your way through turn 2 in towards turn 3 now, in towards Lagos, the first real heavy braking zone. You start climbing then through in towards turn 4. Very easy for the back end to just go very light on you as you head over the crest, as you try to find the balance there between getting the power down and not spinning up those rear tyres. In towards Torre Vip, you have to apply the brakes just as soon as you're heading down the hill. Then we get back up through the power, through the gears then as we head away through this turn 6 here, flat out through here, and then there's a slight downshift in towards turn 7. As you see there with Jordan Kelly, the car's happy to step out a little bit as we head in towards that Samsung. Then over the crest we go, then down the hill once again into this left-hander of Craig Jones, and then you have to really rely on your ordnance for this one as you head away in towards now Portimao to Portimao circuit. Down the hill we go then, and then we head away in through this long left-hander. Up the hill we go in towards this almost hairpin-like corner. Plenty of sleeping policemen on the way around. In towards Sagres we go then, as you have to get dropped down again into second then. It's a double apex corner. Don't put the power down too early, otherwise you'll run very, very wide. And then it's through this long right-hander, through and towards Galp. It feels like it goes on forever, but it's so easy to lose the back end, as we have seen already from Peter McCann in the practice session. Over the crest we go, and over the line, and that's a lap of the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve.
Very, very well compensated over, Kieran, as ever. Qualifying is getting, I suppose I was going to say it's getting very hot, but that's just on the track. It's certainly spicing up at the top of the timing order as well, as Jordan Kelly has just blistered ahead of Rory O'Shea, 1:36.1 currently the quickest time. Dylan McClemens just pipping Naveed Hussain for third spot. Doherty in fifth. Jason Lingard just popping behind him in sixth, so very nice lap there for Jason Lingard. Then it's Sean McClements in seventh and Kamto Chukwa in eighth position. Kamto may be a driver to look out for here this evening. He is only 17 years of age, but is technically a professional sim racer. Yes, he's got a pro contract, does Kamto. He's one to look out for here this evening. A little bit of misfortune last week. He was given the orange meatball flag, as it's called now. It usually tells you got to pay for some damage. He didn't think you were given a big repercussion if you didn't, because his car felt fine. Unfortunately, he was disqualified. It's just complete misfortune for Kamto, so he'll definitely be looking to take a strong result tonight. But Kieran, in terms of the order so far, it's unfortunately this again. No one's touching Jordan Kelly's lap time.
Well, not at the moment, anyway. It's about 0.3 of a second between Jordan Kelly and Rory O'Shea at this moment in time. Dylan McClements is in third place then. Then the doctor is in, Naveed Hussain on the second row of the grid. Then Ronan Doherty, fifth place. Jason Lingard in sixth. Sean McClements in seventh. And then it's Kamto Chukwa in eighth place. Kevin Joyce in ninth. Sean McGoldrick right now is currently rounding off the top 10. We're over the halfway mark in qualifying, and if you are new to RTA, it's not a bad race to pick for your debut, and welcome along to it. But once we hit that 15-minute timer, that's it. That's the end of qualifying. So it's not like in motorsport where the timer expires and you get to finish the lap you're on. No, once we hit 15 minutes, that's it. Session over, wherever you are out on circuit. So it's important that you have to get those lap times in nice and early, and make sure you give yourself plenty of time at the end of the session if you do want to go for one last do or die run.
Yeah, you got to get your lap in early. It's not like Formula 1 or your other championships where you try leave it as late as possible. You got to get that in, got to get the lap time down. Jordan Kelly doing that so far. A good lap there from Sean McGoldrick, who jumps up to fifth position. That's a 1:36.675 for Sean so far. A man who can always be considered a threat in these RTA races. Certainly at the forefront of the evening. A little bit down the order, some good performances so far as well. Wing Fei Chan in 11th, Brian McManus in 12th. Brian has had a very steady of the road start of the season. We saw him in the top 10 of the championship. He kind of just picks up points around that 10th position, and it keeps him nice and consistent. One driver who'll be looking to jump up a little bit, that might be Peter McCann. We saw him very quick at points last week. We saw him very quick at points in the season finale in the GT4 Cup in Laguna Seca. He'll be looking for a little bit better than 16th maybe to round out qualifying. But one thing we haven't had to learn the hard way, because it's been put straight in front of us, is qualifying doesn't always matter in RTA, because they're equally weighted races, and we've got 3 of them.
We do indeed, and of course one of those is a reverse grid of the top 8, which is our final race of the evening. So it is all to play for. And the fact that in the whole time I've been here with RTA, which is, what would we say, about a season and a half now altogether, not one person has managed to, or only once has someone managed to get the whole hat trick of victories on the night, and that was Jordan Kelly. So it has happened before, but in the time I've been here, it's only happened once. So that is all good things. There's a little bit of toe teamwork going on here down the start-finish straight. Why not? as Naveed Hussain goes second fastest now with a 1:36.362. Rory O'Shea back into the pits, so will he have time for one more run? If he does get out there now, he will have a chance. Dylan McClements then rounding off fourth place. Sean McGoldrick has got himself well and truly into that top 10 now. He's up into fifth place as we watch on for drivers just trying to not only find that space out there, as we see on the map, there's not a lot of space to find out there. But I think if you are 24th place, which I think that's the case, that's Simran Takar, you have got a bundle of space out on track to enjoy.
Yes, as I believe that was the two McClemens brothers working together, slipstreaming each other down the straight. These cars quite fast in the straight line, 275 brake horsepower. That's 50 more than the old 2017 Super Formula Lights variant. But some drivers were complaining about the cars maxing out on the straights without slipstream. So it'll be interesting to see how the race goes. Certainly the McClements crew, Team TDR, are thinking that a slipstream is needed for qualifying, and they're probably right in thinking so. That's usually the case, especially in single-seater motorsport. I remember when we were in the Formula Ford 1600 cars, we saw Jordan Kelly and Ronan Doherty bump drafting each other at Okayama. That was an intriguing experience for sure to see bump drafting in a single-seater. But a lot of good lap times still going in towards the line. That's Naveed Hussain, I believe. No improvement on that time, but second place is not a bad start at all.
No, not at all. And I'm just trying to remember if this is fixed setup or if drivers do get a chance to play with that setup a little bit.
I believe it's some form of fixed. I think it's sort of an RTA fixed. I think Rob Parks and Peter McCann kind of put their own little spin on it.
Yes, so if you do get an opportunity, if drivers do start to find themselves maxing out down the straight, what's the chance they could put a little bit more wing on? Because there's a lot of high-speed corners here that really demand a lot for aerodynamics. If you know you're going to max out on the straight, the sacrifice of a little bit of acceleration, a little bit more drag down the straight, perhaps you might prioritise the corners, as which, especially through Galp, that long right-hander, we see that plenty of times over. As Jordan Kelly has pitted now, so that'll be the end of his qualifying session. Naveed Hussain is, I think, currently on a lap at this moment in time. In fact, I'm just trying to see here. I think he's just gone set his own personal best through the final sector on that last lap. He's about 3/4 of the way through on his lap, so we'll have to keep an eye, see if he can find an improvement out there, to see if he can get himself up the order. He was quicker than his own personal best through the first sector, slower in the second. Let's see, Evan, how he'll handle the final sector.
Yes, down through the final corner. It is the down and then up section of Galp, turn number 15. Some drivers like to go close to the pit wall there. Some drivers stay on the outside. There'll be no improvement there for Naveed Hussain. It's about 68% of the lap here at full throttle. So certainly that maxing out of the revs, it could come into play later in the race, but that is a race topic to discuss now. Our eyes are all focused on the final 2 minutes of qualifying. Sorry, the final 1 minute and 20 seconds of qualifying, even less now. There is that is Dylan McClemens pulled over to the right-hand side, and he is out. Rory O'Shea in the pit lane as well. Would have liked to try and find one more tenth and jump ahead of Naveed Hussain, but he won't do that for the time being. Here is Kamto Chukawa running for the final sector. It is green and green so far for Kamto. And no, that's not just his car. He's finding a lot of time on his final attempt of qualifying down through the final corner. Let's see where the 17-year-old prodigy can go. Up and across the start-finish line goes Kamto. Will he improve? No, he won't, I believe. And it's going to be 9th position for Kamto, which is not the worst start in the world. But it seems like, Kieran, with 40 seconds to go, we have a lot of cars in the pit lane early on here.
Yeah, we do. Kevin Choi, Swingfei Chan still out on track there. Jason Lingard has just gone 7th fastest there. Was that an improvement? No, it wasn't. So he stays 7th fastest there. Just a handful of drivers left to set their lap times. And in fact, has the track temperature increased in that time? No, it hasn't. So it stayed at 54 degrees Celsius, which is still pretty hot, all things considered. Jason Lingard, though, in 7th place right now with a spot of the 4th row of the grid, but won't get a chance to finish off that lap time. Neither will Peter McCann, who was just making his way round the final corner. But would it have been pole position for 007? Dr. No for Naveed Hussain. It's Jordan Kelly who takes that spot.
Yes, it's Jordan Kelly on pole ahead of Naveed Hussain and Rory O'Shea in third. Dylan McClements in fourth ahead of Sean McGoldrick in fifth. Ronan Doherty then starting in sixth ahead of Jason Lingard in seventh. Sean McClements in eighth with Kamto Chukwa in ninth. And then it's Kevin Joyce who lines up in 10th.
Yeah, Wingfei Chan in 11th place, then Brian McManus in 12th place, then our 7th row, Peter McCann and Alexander Milchin. 8th row is Finley Melvin and Simon Hutchings. 9th row is Lawrence de Sosfa and Connor Melia. And then rounding off our 10th row is Tony Stack and John McDonald, rounding off the top 20.
Yes, then we look a little bit further down after John McDonald. It's Nigel O'Brien in 21st, ahead of Colin O'Regan in 22nd. Then it's Simran Tacker, David Prunty, Philip Upson, Aaron Dalton, and Stuart Brereton, Jamal Gandor, Gary Corcoran, Sebastian Schluchten, Jared Thornton, and Eric Hoyer, who rounds out the grid. No times from our bottom two in that qualifying, but we do hope to see them in the first heat. It's looking like it's about 24, 25 degrees air temperature at the moment. There's people in Ireland who get the shorts out in about 10 or 11. I'm pretty sure the opening round of the ICCR Championship, which was about 2 degrees and wind, there was people in shorts. So it's a warm day for our drivers here at the Algarve International Circuit. But the lights are on for the opening heat and we go racing here in Portugal. That's a very quick start from Sean McGoldrick in the back in the blue and white. He's got an absolute launch and a half, but they're side by side into the first corner. The doctor goes for the move down the inside and he prescribes perfection. It's an excellent move by Naveed Hussain in towards the first corner of Premiera. He leads the opener here in Portugal.
Yeah, watch out for Rory O'Shea as well, who's challenging Dylan McClements for third place. He has to back out of that. Actually runs wide there. Sean McGoldrick might see that as easy pickings, though, as they're looking to make it 3 wide for the battle for P3. As Jordan Kelly looks down the inside there, he does get his nose ahead. Does he get that move done? No, they're still running side by side now as we head away out of Torre Vip, and now we head away through in towards turn 6 and turn 7. It's a real roller coaster for our drivers. The doctor at the moment is just about ahead. Ronan Doherty battling away now with Jason Lingard as they make their way now through in towards Samsung. Over the crest we go. We've got someone off in the background there. That's Jason Lingard, who was battling away in a place for the top 10. I don't know if he found the wall back there, but he is dropping down the standings. He is you just about see his rear wing, but he's not moving at the moment. But Naveed Hussain leads from Jordan Kelly.
I hope Naveed Hussain is registered on the website now, because there could be a big point scoring haul for him here this evening, but he's got to hold off the feisty Jordan Kelly, who's already looking for a move down the inside in towards turn number 14 of Segre. As you can see, the motorbike long lap loop there just on the outside. These guys are taking the shortest run through that corner possible, and side by side for the ferocious turn number 15. This is absolutely excellent between these two. They're going to be side by side down the straight, and both praying that they don't max out that limiter that we were discussing about in qualifying. It's 2 by 2 they go. Fastest lap of the race goes for the man in second place, because Naveed Hussain is going to try the long way around the outside through the first corner. He's shoved wide. Jordan Kelly leads the opening heat here at the Algarve International Circuit, but this fight is not over. That is absolutely certain.
Wow, brilliant stuff there. Naveed Hussain had to cede that position. Rory O'Shea and Dylan McClements right battling behind. Sean McGoldrick again. We're seeing a carbon copy, really, of what we saw on lap 1. Rory O'Shea just about able to stay ahead. Dylan McClements loses out to Sean McGoldrick in the short term out of Torre Vip as we head our way now through in towards turn 6. Can he hold on to that position, Sean McGoldrick? He'll have the inside line now for turn 7. And as we make our way towards Samsung, there still has that inside line, does Sean McClements. Sean McGoldrick. Dylan McClements, meanwhile, will get the better run out of the corner. Still they run side by side, and McClements just about has that inside line, but a spinner. Ronan Doherty is facing backwards. He's rolling backwards, manages to spin the car around, avoids the gravel, but he'll have to rejoin onto the circuit. That's a hugely fast part of that circuit as well, so he'll have to use the mirrors as much as he can, as Sean McGoldrick still looking for a way to take over 4th place against Dylan McClements.
Yeah, that's Sean McGoldrick, who he saw got a very fast start. He had an absolute excellent launch in towards the first corner. He's just stuck behind Dylan McClements. Disappointing for Ronan Doherty to make that mistake on the exit of 9 in towards turn number 10. Very difficult part to rejoin, but he has done so in 16th place, just ahead of Wingfei Chan. Now, Sean McGoldrick is the meat and the McClements sandwich down towards turn number 1. He's got Dylan behind, Sean in front. He's going to attack Sean just to try and keep Dylan at bay. McGoldrick to the outside. He's going to try the up and under under. Oh, that's a beauty of a move from McGoldrick. If he can pull it off down into the braking zone. Yes, that is an excellent piece of driving from Sean McGoldrick. But look at Sean McClements try to keep it on the inside through that uphill corner where traction is never easy. And there's a bit of a nudge there. Dylan McClements is going to try fight back. The family name at stake potentially in this fight with Sean McGoldrick. It's a huge lunge from Dylan McClements. And Sean is, well, just getting ahead now. This is excellent fighting between the two white, green and orange cars and the white and blue just behind. Is it going to be both McClements brothers ahead of Sean in towards turn number 8? I'm not too sure. Dylan's going to have to keep the traction here on the outside. This is a fantastic fight so far. We saw drivers struggling with the car in qualifying. These three certainly not struggling now.
Well, here goes Sean McGoldrick then down the inside of Dylan McClements, but no way through there. He lost a bit of momentum heading through Samsung there as we head away now through in towards Craig Jones. But Sean McClements basically said, if you two are going to keep squabbling, Dylan and Sean McGoldrick, I'll just send it down the inside of Torrevit and wave, see you later. Because he's already got about half a second up the road, and still Dylan McClements and Sean McGoldrick are battling for this position. Two different lines being taken through the penultimate corner there as we head away through in towards Galp here through this long right hand of the 15th corner of the circuit. We're almost at the halfway point of this race here, and once again Sean McGoldrick is closing on Dylan McClements. We ride on board now as he goes from one McClements slipstream to the other. Does McGoldrick? He'll have to go the long way round in towards the first corner, but he runs too deep there, runs wide and has to scrub off all that speed. And now Kevin Joyce might fancy his chances going through there. Rory O'Shea in the meantime has found a way past Naveed Hussain.
Yeah, Naveed Hussain dropping far back behind Rory O'Shea there. And we saw Sean McGoldrick drop far behind Dylan McClements. Now, I'm not sure if Sean would have got one or not, but we may see a lot of 1Xs on the exit of that first corner because of how wide you can run. I know Jamal Gandor, when I was watching his practice stream, picked up a couple through there, and he watched them for a couple of laps. So it goes to show how easy it is to pick them up. But it's currently Jordan Kelly with a 1.7 second lead ahead of Rory O'Shea and Naveed Hussain. Then it is Sean McClements behind. Let's have a look at this instant replay then. This is Rory O'Shea on Naveed Hussain and towards the first corner. Naveed Hussain, does he run a little bit wide here? No. How does Rory O'Shea get past in towards this corner? There's Naveed Hussain. Yep, he's locked up something. Rory O'Shea just sneaks through.
Yeah, ran too deep in towards Lagos there. I did. Naveed Hussain, and Rory O'Shea said, thank you very much. I'll take that second place off of you. Now, will he get the inroads then? Oh, Sean McGoldrick taps the back of Dylan McClements. McClements loses the back end. He does get going again, facing the right way, but that's allowed Kevin Joyce to go through. It's allowed Peter McCann as well to find his way through in towards 6th place. And Finley Melvin, now in that ING Renault liveried Super Formula, has managed to find his way through as well in that slipstream. Watch out as well as Peter McCann and Kevin Joyce go side by side now in towards Primera, with Peter McCann having to go the long way round. He runs wide, and that's Kevin Joyce able to take over 5th place. But watch out for Finley Melvin. Oh, there's contact up ahead between McCann and that was Milchan's gone up as well. Kevin Joyce around in that contact as well. That's just so easy to do in these open wheelies. It's so easy to tangle tyres and spin both cars around, and that's allowed Finley Melvin up into 5th place.
Yes, Finley Melvin, the beneficiary of the incident between Peter McCann and Kevin Joyce. Just looked like Joyce maybe braked a little bit too early. McCann didn't expect it. Let's have a look here on the Gantry TV replay in towards turn number 1 of Primera. That's Joyce on the inside, McCann on the outside there in the red and white. You can see McCann runs very wide, does get a better exit because of that, and just taps the behind of Kevin Joyce. I'm afraid I think that one's all on Peter McCann.
I'll leave that one to the, if it does get reported, we'll leave that as it be. But the two of them making contact as Finley Melvin looking for a move up the inside here of Dylan McClements in the latter stages of this lap then at turn 13. Now we head away through towards turn 14. McClements is having to defend this position from Finley Melvin. Melvin will get the power down here as we head away through the final corner. Too wide through here. We haven't seen this in lap 1 between the two leaders, but Finley Melvin sticks his nose in and gets rewarded with 5th place. Now though, Dylan McClements looks like he's got the better run out of the final corner now, as we will run side by side. Watch out as well for Chukwu, who's trying to find his way through the order as well. Finley Melvin has to take the inside line. Dylan McClements running wide, heading through turn 2. Now we head away down towards Lagos here, and it stays as it was. Finley Melvin in 5th, Dylan McClements in 6th, and then Kanto Chukwu in 7th place.
An unexpected but fantastic fight between these three. Didn't really qualify near each other, but I tell you what, it's turned out to be an absolutely fabulous scrap. We've only got a minute left of it, but we do have Heat 2 and Heat 3 coming up for you here this evening. This is Ronan Doherty. He is on the revenge path, and Ronan's revenge path is working quite well. He's up to 9th. He's got ahead of Peter McCann and Lawrence de Souza in 11th. Both Doherty and McCann involved in separate incidents here this evening. Doherty seemed to go off on his own. McCann then involved in that one with Kevin Joyce. Lawrence has had a fairly quiet one behind, so Lawrence just running steady in 11th position. A little bit further up to the top then, Naveed Hussain has not dropped off the back of Rory O'Shea. Hold on a second, let's take a look here as Lawrence de Souza seemed to go down the inside of Peter McCann. Yep, and he's got the job done. Good move from Lawrence, up and ahead and into the top 10.
Yeah, nice move there from Lawrence. That's him now up 7 places from where he started. So a little bit of a lock up there. I might have caught that front left brake through in towards turn 13 there. I'll tell you who's had a great race. Finley Melvin up 9 places from where he started in that ING Renault, reminiscent of the late 2000s. As he'll now try and see if he can find a way past Dylan McClements as we head onto the final lap of this very first heat. On board then with Finley Melvin, Dylan McClements up ahead of him in this battle for 5th place. Melvin will have to go the long way round in towards the first corner, but he'll try the Evan up and under as we head away through in towards turn 2. Didn't quite happen for him because Dylan McClements saw it coming. He won't see this coming though. Finley Melvin down the inside in towards Lagos then. We head away through in towards turn 4 as we start to climb that crest as both of them run wide as they head their way now down that back straight towards Torre Vip. They've got a bit of lappery to contend with. They're going to make it 3 wide down in towards Torre Vip here as Dylan McClements gets down the inside of Finley Melvin and takes over 5th place.
Yeah, that lap car wanted absolutely nothing to do with that fight, and I don't blame him in the slightest. That was a great move from Dylan McClements to get ahead of Finley Melvin. Here comes Naveed Hussain. Oh, I thought he was going to try a lunge down the inside, but Rory O'Shea in the high pre will stay in front for now, as it'll be another podium here for Rory O'Shea. He's had a great start to the season. It's going to be the same top 2 from the first 2 heats last week. Jordan Kelly, who leads home Rory O'Shea first and second. Well, bearing in mind any disasters through the final corner, it wouldn't be like me to commentate as curse someone in this championship, as Finley Melvin has gone sliding down the order. Jordan Kelly rounds through the final corners to take his 3rd heat win in 4. It is Jordan Kelly's world, and we're all living in it so far at the Algarve International Circuit. Rory O'Shea comes home 2nd, Naveed Hussain in 3rd, then it is McClements 4th and 5th in the form of Sean and Dylan. Kanto Chukwu comes home for his best result in RTA so far with a solid 6th position ahead of Alexander Milchin, who just can't break that curse and stays in 7th. Great recovery from Ronan Doherty in 8th, and oh my goodness me, look at this between McManus and Sholton behind, it seems.
Yeah, as they head their way towards the line, it's Takar who's trying to battle away. It's McManus, then Takar by 1/100th of a second. Brian McManus manages to hit that 16th place. And you see there, Simran Takar, 1 minute 40.6. Brian McManus with a 38.5. So a real good lap there from McManus, picking up the pieces to get himself up into 16th place.
Yeah, great result all round. What a great heat. Really went down a treat. Really went quite quickly, actually. I'm not sure how you felt about it, Kieran, but I thought it was over as quick as it started. We've got 2 more coming up for you, folks. Don't worry about that. We've got the 15-minute heat number 2. The order of this grid will decide that one, and then we've got the reverse top 8 heat number 3 coming up. Yeah, that's a 20-minute one, which we'll have usually after a couple of interviews. Here's Jamal Gandor coming home in 24th, I should say, apologies, ahead of Jared Thornton, who comes home in 25th, and it'll be Eric Courier who comes home in 26th. Sort of a steady drive from Eric there, picked up 6 places, and it'll be a much better start in heat number 2 than it will be in heat number 1 for Eric, who, as always, is giving it his all out on the track. Kieran, first heat, that was an absolute cracking opener to what's to come, I think.
Well, you said it flew by. I couldn't agree more. I can't believe we're at the end of the first heat already, but Jordan Kelly managed to pull away at the end. What a great opening battle, opening scrap we had between Jordan Kelly and Naveed Hussain. In the end, though, Jordan Kelly comes out on top by 3 seconds, although that really wasn't the summation of this race. Jordan Kelly had to work for that in the opening 5 minutes of this race. Comes out with another victory.
Yes, here is your final race results then for heat number 1. It is Kelly O'Shea and Naveed Hussain rounding out the podium. Then it is Sean McClements, Dylan McClements, Camto Chukawa, Alexander Milchan, Ronan Doherty and Lawrence de Soswa ahead of Finlay Melvin, Peter McCann, Nigel O'Brien, Wing Fei Chan, Sean McGoldrick and Kevin Joyce in 15th.
Yeah, Brian McManus in 16th place there, just pipping Simran Takar to the line. And then Sebastian Scholten, who was up, I think, 12 places from where he started in that race. So brilliant stuff from Sebastian there. John McDonald in 19th place. Philip Upson rounding off the top 20. And Evan, back to you for race 2.
Yes, we are going immediately here. The 5 red lights already on. It's Kelly and O'Shea in the front row as we go racing for the second time here in Portugal. Once again, it seems like the second and third rows have got a much better start than the first one. Ronan Doherty getting away well, as do both the McClements. But it will be Jordan Kelly who leads, head of Naveed Hussain in towards the first corner. Hussain insane round the outside of Rory O'Shea. But Rory will defend here, and that's actually shoved Naveed Hussain a little bit over. A car got up. That is one of the McClements. Oh, Melbourne going up as well. Naveed Hussain has clipped the back of one of the McClements brothers, and that has sent both himself and Finlay up in the air. Was Dylan McClements behind? Well, that's a dramatic start to this one.
Oh, Finlay Melvin, and absolutely nowhere to go. There's nothing he did wrong there, and he just found himself airborne in that run. Simran Takar up into the top 10, by the way, in all of that first lap melee, and first corners melee, as there'll be a couple of cars for sure that will have some sort of suspension damage. I'm sure we'll get a replay of what on earth happened at that start. Naveed Hussain, though, ran deep in towards Lagos there in that first lap, dropped down to 5th place, and had to scrap his way past Ronan Doherty. Evan, here's what happened at the opening lap.
Right, let's have a look then. This is Sean and Dylan McClements in towards this third corner of Lagos. You can see that's Hussain who runs wide, and then boom, little bit of a clip there. He bounces in front, and bang, Melvin goes over and lands on someone's car. I think that could have been Peter McCann who spun around as well. Oh, there's a blue car that's just gone off completely under his own accord. That is destroyed, and oh, in towards the pad of Eric Courier, who also goes up. So we said it was like a little bit of a roller coaster. We've just had 3 carriages derail in towards the first sector. What a mad start to this heat. But the madness continues then, because we've still got approximately 13 more minutes of it. In towards the first corner, Jordan Kelly has to defend from Rory O'Shea. He's not had to do that since the opening of heat 1.
Yeah, and here Rory O'Shea will be putting and piling on the pressure. Sean McClements, 3rd place now, as the top 3 start to just try and break away from Naveed Hussain, who's running in 4th place at the moment. Ronan Doherty in 5th place. Then it's Camto Chukra in 6th place. Lawrence de Soswa now up into 7th place, as Alexander Milchan and Sean McGoldrick falling down the field like stones now. They were battling in that top 10, and they are 3 falling down the order now. Jordan Kelly still leading the way then, just under 3:10 separates himself and Rory O'Shea. Let's have a look and see what happened to those falling stones there. So there's Alexander Milchan, who's looking to see if he can go around the outside, and I'm expecting there to be contact in towards Lagos. Is that what happens? Alexander Milchan runs a little bit wide, and he loses the back end and just comes across. And very similar, slightly similar to what we saw happened to Naveed Hussain. He just lit up the rear tyres, and in doing that sort of set off a chain reaction.
Yeah, I also think there was a little bit of sort of a net code bump in towards the corner, and then that sent Milchan wide, and he just wasn't able to control it back. But yeah, disappointing for both drivers there, because they were both tracking well for a good result. That was Milchan and Sean McGoldrick, who have fallen down the order. Milchan now 22nd, McGoldrick now 27th. Here is Conor Melia. It was a Conor melee in towards the first sector, but he's now going to try and make moves. I apologise to all Gantry TV viewers for that joke.
Yeah, if Ronan Hederman in the background is groaning, you know it was a bad one. Nevertheless, not bad here, because we're going to go 3 wide now, down towards the first corner here, with Tony Stack in that buzzing Hornet Jordan livery going down the inside, but Conor Melia is around now. down at turn 1 and 3 wide into that corner. Doesn't normally work, and Conor Emilio's found it. And there's just a random car there. Is that Colin O'Regan as well? Oh, sorry, Prunty. It's David Prunty, who's also around there. I didn't quite see what happened to David there. He just appeared into stage left into the camera shot there.
What happens when you go 3 wide? It results in Amelia. You know the rest. Here's Naveed Hussain in the middle sector. A man who I am not entirely sure how he is in 4th after what happened at the race start, but no further questions I shall ask, Your Honour. He has Ronan Doherty right behind him and he's looking to just defend. Naveed Hussain there's actually a car gone off there. I think it might have been a bit of lap traffic, but there was someone gone off there. There's a lot of cars going off everywhere. I wonder, because we have a little bit of a longer format race actually, Kieran, I'm just thinking, will we see maybe some effects of sort of overheating of the tyres, stuff like that, come maybe the 12-13 minute mark? You can see there your stats on the right hand side of your screen, folks.
Yeah, and they are some pascals, of course, in the pressure out in the air pressure, but there we go. Ronan Doherty, meanwhile, is right onto the back of Naveed Hussain. Talk about the track pressure. Ronan Doherty's putting pressure on the doctor here as we head away down towards the first corner. Naveed Hussain managing to hang on to 4th place for now, and they're actually closing in on the top 3 battle up ahead, and Jordan Kelly's managed to find a little bit of breathing room ahead of Rory O'Shea by about a second right now. But through in towards the turn 4 there, Jordan Kelly seemed to lose a bit of time there to Rory O'Shea. So there's definitely strengths and weaknesses to each driver through each corner right now. But Jordan Kelly just about keeping his distance from Rory O'Shea at the top of the order. And this is a battle we've really been waiting for here. Jordan Kelly versus Rory O'Shea. And they're separated by just about a second right now as we are past a third of the way into this race.
Yeah, both men who have certainly diced and battled on real-world racing circuits, maybe at a little bit of a different standard. Kelly in the Formula 4 Championship, Rory O'Shea in the Tolotzen T4 karting series. But we're going to look a little bit further back for a second. This is David Prunty and Sebastian Schlotten, who are battling for 17th and 18th. Prunty, of course, we saw off the track a couple of moments ago, so he's on a bit of a recovery drive, and he's got ahead of Sebastian in towards turn number 7 and turn number 8. Good move there from David Prunty, who was, of course, in a tight battle with Dermot Toomey last year in the B Championship. Prunty just losing out by 7 points in the B Championship of the GT4 Cup. He'll be looking for revenge this season, as that's Hutchings. Neat move down the inside.
Yeah, very nicely done for Simon Hutchings against Gary Corcoran, and he makes his way now up into 11th place. He's now 3.7 seconds behind Tony Stack. There's a melee going on here as Peter McCann and Alexander Milchin battle for 21st place, and that's Conor Amelia just up ahead of them. And I won't make any puns and make Amelia of it like our friend Evan in the box here is.
Woo!
But in any case, a battle for a place in the top 20, and Peter McCann here is very much on the charge to try and book that place.
I'm officially a bad influence here on RTA. This is Philip Upson and Sebastian fighting, so it seems like Sebastian may be struggling for the pace at this stage in the race. That's going to be Upson who gets the job done. Yeah, there was 9/10 of a second separating them in those last laps, but Philip Upson won't be able to keep the position if he runs wide like that. This is Sean McClements just ahead of Naveed Hussain here. Naveed, I tell you what, he's been much quicker here this evening than he was in Donington Park. Down in towards turn number 10 and 11. It's looking like there's going to be a lunge here from Naveed Hussain. Oh, very late in the brakes from the doctor, but that is an excellent job at getting past Sean McClements. Naveed Hussain is back onto the podium.
Yeah, a move that was slightly late there. We were almost calling the out-of-hours surgery, but there's contact there between Naveed Hussain and Ronan Doherty going in towards turn 13. Both of them now falling down the field. And as Naveed Hussain tries to get the power down, he spins up the rear tyres and goes spinning again. This is the problem when you really overheat those tyres on a track that's 54 degrees Celsius. It is so difficult to try and get those tyres back under good temperature once again, as Brian McManus fancies a move down the inside. Naveed Hussain has the momentum through in towards the penultimate corner, but maybe not through Galp here, as there's 3 cars battling away here. Naveed Hussain, Brian McManus and Simran Takar, meanwhile, is using the slipstream here of 007 to see if he can try and find a way through. He's certainly now up into 8th place, Does he fancy a move down the inside in towards Primera? No, not this time. Has to back out of it this time on this occasion. But he certainly means business, does Simran Takar. Up 9 places from where he started this race. So down in P17 to start this. He's now up into 8th place. So very nice indeed, as Stuart Brereton is now currently running in 12th place. Part of a 3-car battle here between Kevin Joyce and Jamal Gandor, both behind him.
Yeah, it was Naveed Hussain who sent Dylan McClemens airborne, so Sean McClemens returned the favour, and Naveed Hussain got a little bit of airtime heading through turn number 13. I'm sure the stewards will probably have a look at both those incidents. Speaking of incidents, that is going to be a car round heading through Torre Veep. That is Nigel O'Brien, who unfortunately has spun around. I think he was battling with Jamal Gandor at the time, but we might try and find out what happened to Nigel there. Unfortunately, he has dropped a couple of spots, and as is Gary Corcoran, who's pulled into the pits. Kieran, what do you make of this one?
Well, let's have a look here. Nigel O'Brien, who was battling away here. Let's see what happened to him. So he wasn't really anywhere near that battle with Jamal Gandor. So this happens a little bit up the road as we head our way down towards Torre Vip. Yeah, it's all on his own. Locks the rears, just braking a little bit too late there. Locking up those rears, and once you do that, it just feels hopeless when that happens. There's absolutely nothing to do about it except just apply the brakes even more and hope the car actually does stop.
Yeah, that's a bit unlucky for Nigel. There's a very difficult corner there in towards Torre Veep, and unfortunately he's come out of it the wrong side this time and has dropped a couple of spots, but still opportunities in this race. None, oh no, well, he's in the pits now, so probably not. But this is the fight between Tony Stack and Brian McManus. This is for 9th and 10th now. Tony Stack back in a familiar position, just on the brink of the top 10 results. And with 5 minutes to go, he's looking good for that top 10 result. It's been good pace from Tony here this evening in the Bumblebee car. He's up 21 positions in this race, is Tony. So when we say he's got pace, we mean it. It's been a fabulous performance from Tony here in the second heat.
Yeah, really battled his way through to a place into the top 10 once again. But Brian McManus is going to make him work for it as we head into the final third of heat number 2 here in Portimao in RTA. Jordan Kelly leads by 3 seconds ahead of Rory O'Shea. And then Ronan Doherty is rounding off our top 3. Then we have a battle for 4th place between Kamto Chukra and Lawrence de Sosva for a place on 4th place, as they head their way through. Also, Sean McClemens looking to join this battle as well. So we might have a 3-car battle here for a place just outside of those podium places.
Yeah, and there was only one podium for Lawrence de Sosma last season in the GT4 Cup, so he'd like to take a few more than that here this season. This is a great fight between Stuart Brereton and Jamal Gandor, both in very colourful machinery. That'll be Brereton who loses out on this occasion, however. Jamal Gandor just sneaking out the inside. Another man who's had a much better Heat 2 than Heat 1 is Jamal Gandor, the man with a lot of experience on a virtual racetrack. He said himself he's been sim racing since 1996, and I tell you what, the experience to cut through sort of a field full of incidents is certainly showing in races like this for Jamal. It's been a solid evening for the 961 so far. He's got a bit of weaving to do to keep Stuart Brereton behind, and it's good to see Stuart up there as well. One of his better results so far, I'd say, in RTA. But I've probably just gone and jinxed that.
Yeah, you have. And we do apologise in advance to Stuart Brereton there.
Sorry,
hopefully Evan hasn't done you dirty there. Well, we'll see. It's in a battle for 11th place with just shy of 3 minutes to go. Stuart Brereton here has got a great run coming out of turn 4. Can he do anything with it in towards Torre Vip here? No, he stays behind this time around, but all the pressure's on Jamal Gandor, and Gandor, I think, locked up slightly going in towards Torre Vip there, managed to recover from it, so didn't lose a lot of time there. But locking up like that is just, inviting Stuart Brereton, like giving blood to a shark, giving him that sniff. It's just an opportunity here that Stuart Brereton might see, you're weak through here, let me just apply that pressure just a little bit more. And we'll see what the result of that is. This is going to be a battle for 11th place as Jordan Kelly just crosses the line now, so we will have 2 more laps worth of running. And Stuart Brereton then still applying that pressure towards the back end of this lap then. Heading our way in towards turn 13. Big lock up this time from Jamal Gandor. And Stuart Brereton tries to take advantage of it as Jamal Gandor loses the back end. Tries to get going again. Loses a couple of positions to Kevin Joyce and David Pronti in all of that. But Jamal Gandor now down to 14th.
Yeah, disappointed there for Jamal. Was running well, but he's just sort of lit up the rears heading through the corner, rotated round, and unfortunately lost a handful of spots. He's now down to 14th position here in this second heat of the three tonight, as we now look at David Prunty looking to get past Stuart Brereton and capitalise on the mistake from Jamal, and sort of the sudden slow speed from Stuart to avoid that collision was good collision avoidance from Stuart, but he has lost the spot to that's actually Prunty ahead of Kevin Joyce. Apologies. Stuart Brereton picking up some unnecessary flame there from me, saying that he had to slow down. Nope, Stewart still a comfortable 11th. He's actually got 1.5 on David Prunty, so it's looking like Stewart will finish in that 11th position. A little bit off Brian McManus, however, so there's a bit of a schism between the top 10 and the rest of the field.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah, it was looking good in qualifying because I think it was about the top 14, separated by 1.2 seconds, so that's pretty good for Portimao, considering it's a lot of high-speed corners and a lot of straights. Jordan Kelly, though, meanwhile, will go over the crest and will begin the final lap of heat number 2 here. And, of course, the top 8 get reversed for our final race of the evening. So at this point, Simran Takar has got himself a place on the reverse pole. If Tony Stack, though, has anything to say about that matter, the white flag is waving. Sean McClements here is closing and closing on Lawrence de Sosva as we head our way down now in towards Primera. No way through for him this time around. Lawrence de Sosva runs a little bit wide. You saw Lawrence taking a lot more speed through that first corner, able to run the car wide as there's a little bit of brake smoke coming from Lawrence de Sosva there. Sean McClements trying to take a little bit of a better line there. As we see, he's got a much better run, though, out of turn 4 as we head away towards Torre Vip there, as Sean McClements is going to go for it here, dives down the inside of Lawrence de Sosva, gets the power down. Sean McClements just about a nose ahead, but Lawrence de Sosva gets the better run out of Torre Vip as we head our way now onwards then through in towards turn 7. They're still running side by side. De Sosva has to back out of it for now in towards turn 8. This time, though, Sean McClements with the momentum takes over 5th place.
Yeah, brilliant move from Sean McClements. Excellent racecraft from him to get past Lawrence de Sosva, who is not an easy man to get past as he runs wide heading through there. We certainly saw Peter McCann struggle to get past him in the Gunaseka last season in the GT4s, but Sean McClements made that one look absolutely easy. Any chance of Lawrence getting back past seemingly has gone as he did run wide through turn number 10. But here is Jordan Kelly once again. It'll be 2 weeks on the bounce that he takes a Heat 1 and Heat 2 victory. Let's see, can he make a hat-trick in heat number 3? It's going to be the same result in heat 1 and heat 2 from last week as well, with Rory O'Shea in second. Ronan Doherty will come home for his second podium of the season in third. Top result for Kamto Chukwuka, who takes his best finish as well so far this season. It's then the two battlers of Sean McClements and Lawrence de Sosva 5th and 6th, despite Naveed Hussain having an incident-ridden race. He stuck a plaster on it and comes home in 7th.
Simran Takar also in 8th place, so will claim that reverse grid pole position, so he'll be delighted about leading the field down towards Primera. Tony Stack chasing all the way, though, in 9th place. Brian McManus then rounding off the top 10. And then there's Stuart Brereton, who will just about hold off David Prunty. And Prunty, just like Lando Norris in Imola, was probably hoping for one more lap to see if he could try and get the move done, but not this time. David Prunty there in 12th place. Kevin Joyce across the line in 13th place. Sebastian Scholten in 14th. Jamal Gandor now rounding off the top 15 drivers.
Be careful mentioning Formula 1. The last time I mentioned Formula 1, I was in Peter McCann's news strip the next morning. But here's Simon Hutchings coming home in 17th, ahead of Peter McCann in 18th and Alexander Milchin in 19th. Two drivers who were caught up in separate incidents in the race, but they'll be looking to try recover in the 20-minute heat number 3. It'll be Conor Melia then and Colin O'Regan 20th and 21st, and that'll round us out for heat number 2. I think it's time we hear from a couple of the successful runners so far this evening here around Portimao. And of course, who better to start with than the man who's won 2 races? Jordan Kelly at the top, ahead of Rory O'Shea in second position. But Jordan, it's a difficult circuit, this one, but you seemingly make it look easy. It's another 2 from 2 in the first 2 heats.
Yeah, last night I jumped in and I didn't have a clue where to turn or what to do, but it probably took me about 3 hours to actually get grips with the track, because it's so hot around here. Well, obviously because it's in Spain or Portugal, whatever, and so the track's like 51 degrees. It's just once after 4 laps, the tires are just they're ice rinks, so you just have to watch yourself. But no, the two races went well. I loved the wee battle at the start of the first race with Naveed. That was some good battling with him. So hopefully we can get through the grid now.
Yeah, speaking of battling, seems like it's going to be difficult for the reverse grid race. Last week, of course, you started 8th in the reverse grid. You'll be starting 8th again. You only managed to come back to 4th last week. Is it going to be maybe easier around such a longer circuit, I should say, than Donington to cut through the field?
I think there's a lot more opportunities to kind of like send it down the inside and stuff around here. So hopefully we can do some of that. But it will be tough with there's a bit of wash and stuff behind if you're really close to somebody. So just need to watch that. But it won't be as bad as Donington because going down the Craner curves in the pack last week, you just couldn't see anything. You didn't know what your car was doing. Then it spun and got damaged. But we won't have to worry about that this week.
Well, Jordan, we're going to let you go. Get ready for heat number 3. All things going to plan. We'll be speaking to you after. We wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Evan.
Let's hear second place man with Kieran then. It is Rory O'Shea.
Drag him in by the scruff of his neck then, and let's have a chat to him. Rory, could you hear us?
I can do.
Rory, I'm spotting a pattern here. Let me know if you spot the same pattern. It's 3rd in the first race tonight. It's 2nd in the last race. That's definitely a pattern on the cards, surely. We'll see how it goes. But Rory, how is it out there? Because it's absolutely scorching. 54 degrees Celsius on the track temperature. We heard from Jordan just then about, the tyres turned to pretty much an ice rink going in towards the half a lap. What's the secret to keeping the tyres cool in this scenario?
Probably just have to be gentle with them, really. Like I actually haven't found that there's been a huge amount of fall off because I feel like I'm not actually pushing them as much. But I don't know, is there a secret really with 54-degree track temp? I think it's just do your best really to keep them alive.
And we've seen some great battling as well in towards the first few corners. And of course, that takes a lot out of the tyres. Are you worried at that point? Or are you just thinking first and solely about track position at that point?
I just want to get the track position at that point. Like, so on the first race, the amount of time we all lost switching back and forth to each other with Dylan and Naveed and the lads. Like, so just want to at least try to get behind Jordan so we can't let him away.
Rory, you're starting 7th place in the final race of tonight with the reverse grid. What do you rate your chances of sneaking a race victory here tonight?
I'm not so sure. Like, some couple of the quick guys are up near the front for the reverse, so they might get away. But sure, we'll just have to see if we can pick our way through everyone and might pick a win. Very easy to make a mistake around here, so people might start dropping off.
I wish you all the best, Rory, going into our final race. Thank you for having a chat to us and good luck for the final one.
Yeah, no matter. Cheers.
And if we've got time, Evan, let's drag Ronan Doherty into the box then. 3rd place in the last race, Evan, with you.
Yeah, Ronan, hello. Thank you for joining us. Second podium of the season for you. Bit of a messy race, that one. Are you happy with how it went?
I'm actually really, really happy, to be honest, because I just bought the track there tonight before, as the session went up. And I sort of underestimated how hard it was to learn. I should have been on last night with the rest of the lads, but at the end of the race there, really wasn't far off Jordan. I was reading Rory in a little bit, so I was happy enough with that now, I have to say. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the last one. I mean, I had a dodge about 50 crashes tonight, and I got tagged myself with some netcode, so it's been carnage, alright.
Yeah, speaking of crashes, we saw a couple of your cousins going airborne at different points in that race. Is there a lot of incidents in sort of the opening couple of corners that you have to avoid, especially in a reverse grid race?
Yeah, I mean, the first one, Naveed lit up the rears and hit Dylan, and I just had to go through them as like a stray cat, just pouncing through. And then the second one, I think Sean locked up when he hit Naveed, so it was a bit kind of carnage. Yeah.
Well, Ronan, we do hope we can hear from you after. I believe we're just getting ready to grid up now, so we will let you go and get ready for the final reverse grid race.
Thank you.
Great to hear from the top three in heat number 2. Something tells me, though, with the carnage we've had, we might have a different top 3 in heat number 3. Let's see how it goes then. But here's your grid for this final race. It is Simran Takar who starts on pole, ahead of Naveed Hussain in second, Lawrence de Salzma third, Sean McClemens fourth, Kamto Chukwa in fifth. That's a very intriguing top 5.
It is indeed. Ronan Doherty in 6th place, then Rory O'Shea in 7th. But Evan, for the final time, let's go racing.
Yes, this is the longest one. 20 minutes as we go racing in Portugal. What a launch from Naveed Hussain. He is a rocket ship off the grid slug. Simran Takar's pole didn't even last a couple of meters, and the 400-meter run from pole to turn number 1 has been dominated by the Doctor. Simran Takar in second, Lawrence de Salzma in third, Sean McClemens in fourth, ahead of Ronan Doherty, who's looking to sneak through the field, but it's McClemens on the inside of Lawrence de Salzma here on the run down towards Torre V. That was wide from Lawrence de Salzma. He may lose out here to Sean McClemens, who's trying last of the late breakers in towards the hairpin that has provided us with some fabulous overtaking, and that trend will continue as Simran Takar just looking to try and defend what was pole. It's now second place. A little bit of pace struggles for Simran Takar here in the opening phases.
Yeah, but he's managing to hold his own out there. Lawrence de Salzma, though, might finally gets the power down and can try and push his way through there, and Ronan Doherty going around the outside as they head their way up the hill through in towards Portimao now. So it's de Salzma in second place now. Ronan Doherty now moves up into third place, so he's had a fine start to this race. So that's Simran Takar now down to fourth place. Rory O'Shea up into fifth, but he's being challenged all the way by Sean McClemens. Then Jordan Kelly will also fancy his chances up the inside of Sean McClemens, which he does get up into sixth place. Now round the outside, he'll have to go here of Simran Takar, which he does indeed. He'll get the power down, but he's got to be careful here because Simran Takar could easily wash out with the understeer going through the final corner. Jordan Kelly sees that coming and has to back out of it. But he will get a healthy dose of slipstream from the back of the Canadian down the start for this straight. Ronan Doherty, meanwhile, has managed to get ahead of Lawrence de Salzma. De Salzma's got the outside line, though, heading down towards Primera, but he runs a little bit wide. That allows Rory O'Shea the spacer in the between, but Tony Stack, I think that was, sorry, no, David Prunty. No, it wasn't. It was Tony Stack. It was Tony Stack all the way around. Brian McManus also falling down the order. There was carnage at turn 1 when we just saw it in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, there's been a bit of a crash there in the background involving Tony Stack, and we can see this is Jordan Kelly, the man who's won both heats so far this evening, getting past Lawrence de Salzma in towards Tour AV. But I think Lawrence knows that's probably not his fight. He'd actually be better just sticking behind Jordan and maybe trying to weave through the field with him. It's currently Naveed Hussain who leads by 2.7 seconds over Ronan Doherty. Let's have a look at the Gantry TV replay. This is chaos in towards Primera.
Let's see what happens to the buzzing hornet then. So Tony Stack will turn into the corner. What happens here? Oh, there's contact there. So it wasn't actually Tony Stack that was flung all the way off the track. It was actually Brian McManus that was. So Tony Stack involved in that one with Brian McManus there. That's what I saw in the background there of a car just flying off out of turn 1, out of control, and that was why Lawrence de Salzma. Oh, Finlay Melvin's in trouble, though. He's found the gravel trap. That's at the top of Portimao. He'll have to rejoin the circuit, but he's all the way now down into 22nd place, and Brian McManus here might make things a little bit worse by trying to grab that 22nd place off of him. Kevin Joyce in 7th place, though. Simran Takar, in the space of 3 laps, has gone from 1st to 8th, but now he can really find his rhythm now, find the groove, and see if he can make up a couple of positions in these as we head away towards a quarter of the way mark.
Yeah, Takar on the outside, Joyce on the inside here, and that's going to be Kevin Joyce who comes out on top in this battle, certainly. And in the battle in the background is going to be Peter McCann, who gets ahead of Jamal Gandor in towards the hairpin. Gandor going to maybe try it round the outside. McCann hits his apex nicely there through Lagos, and that'll be Peter McCann just ahead. This is Conor Melliot and Sean McGoldrick fighting it. You can see McGoldrick trying that up and under. He tried that in the opening heat on another competitor. He's going to try it here on Conor Melliot down in towards their hairpin. You can see Dylan McClements as well, who had a bit of a shaky start. He manages to get past Sean McGoldrick, I should say. So McGoldrick was going for the move on Conor Melliot. There's now a car in between himself and Conor, so disappointing there for Sean. A lot of work to do if he wants to get up near the front.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronan Doherty, meanwhile, is having to do the same thing. If he wants this move for the top of the order, he has to find a way past Ronan Doherty. Naveed Hussain has built a gap of almost 3 seconds. He's managed to get the lead very early. As you said, Evan, managed to really get the launch spot on, get ahead of Simran Takar at the earliest possibility. And then Takar, who was defending hard for those positions, he wanted to keep second place, but in doing so, overdrove in some corners. And that allowed Naveed Hussain to build up that early lead. Ronan Doherty now right and proper with Rory O'Shea as O'Shea closes and closes, moves to the right hand side of the track, left side of your picture as we head away down towards Primera. Rory O'Shea on the inside line as he'll look to try and find his way through down in towards the first corner we go, but the two of them are battling away. Rory O'Shea gets ahead of Ronan Doherty. Jordan Kelly's just biding his time here. He knows that he can get this move done here. He knows he's got the pace to do it, but it's picking the right moment, which for Jordan Kelly, he normally does get right on the exit here of turn 4.
Yes, here he goes down, trying to overtake Ronan Doherty, a man who he's fought in single-seaters with many a time here in RTA. Down the inside goes Jordan Kelly. That's job completed. Simple as you like. Jordan Kelly is up to 3rd place. He's now got to get past Rory O'Shea, the man who's been trailing him the last 2 heats here at the Algarve International Circuit. And then he's got to try and catch 2 seconds to the doctor if he wants to take the clean sweep of the evening. It would be some feat to do it in the second round of a championship around a circuit that he admitted he didn't really know the breaking points for as of last night. But Jordan Kelly is a man of talent, and he's certainly proving that once again. Here is Kamto Chukwu and Simran Takar, 2 drivers who've had a good or a better evening here, I should say, than Donington Park. This is in the battle for 8th, though. It's Kamto who leads for now.
It is indeed, as he'll make his way through then, trying to defend against Simran Takar. And Takar running very deep, though, in towards that penultimate corner. That's going to open himself up to an attack from Peter McCann, you would think, down the start-finish straight, because he'll lose that momentum through and towards Galp. Let's see, Peter McCann is closing and closing. Rory O'Shea is closing and closing here. Jordan Kelly, down the inside of Rory O'Shea. And Jordan Kelly sizing up that move, running a little bit wide there, but he does get that move done and stuck. Rory O'Shea maybe thought about a move in towards Lagos, but wasn't quite close enough to try and challenge Jordan Kelly for the move. Out of turn 4 we go, and on the run now, down towards Torre Vip. Will we see Rory O'Shea? He is closing and closing now on Jordan Kelly, down towards the hairpin here, but decides against a move down the inside.
Yes, it's a prestige battle there for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Many RTA championships between them. As we look at the battle for 9th now between Simran Takar and Peter McCann. It's just been backwards for Simran Takar for most of this heat, unfortunately. It was 7 minutes in. He started on pole. He's down to 9th. And unfortunately, the regression doesn't look like it's stopping any time soon, as Peter McCann is right on the back of the number 22, as we see Conor Melia just behind, get past Simon Hutchings. That's for 11th. So there's a lot of individual battles around the field. But, Kieran, Naveed Hussain is doing a good job at the front of this grid.
Yeah, he is 2 seconds clear of Jordan Kelly, but that's with an asterisk against it, because it's 2 seconds, and the doctor here has to have some laps of surgical precision to make sure he stays ahead of Kelly here. Peter McCann, meanwhile, is battling away with Simran Takar. Takar running a little bit wide again through that penultimate corner. Will Peter McCann get the better run out of that penultimate corner? In towards Galp, and the final corner they go. And Peter McCann here can sense a 9th place opportunity on the cards. Simran Takar goes all the way over to the right-hand side of the track. But there is Peter McCann, who will try and fly his way through. He'll have to go the long way round in towards turn 1, though. He'll have to be brave if he wants it. That's what Simran Takar says. But we see, again, Peter McCann going around the outside in towards the 3rd corner at Lagos. A nice, beautiful move there from Peter McCann.
Yeah, well done, Peter. Great move on Simran Takar. Another great move here from Philip Upson to get the job done on Tony Stack. But Stack is still going to try and keep his car in on the inside, heading in towards turn number 3. Has Upson got the run around the outside? I think he has, actually, here. That's a great move from Philip Upson. And Tony Stack just on the outside. Upson giving him a wide berth, plenty of space. Tony Stack gets to run off the corner, and with the odds stacked against him, he's made a really good move in towards the hairpin. Upson still keeps the green machine. Hussein on the inside, and it looks like it's going to be the number 14, who's up to 17th here, heading down towards turn number 7. And a nice little battle between the two there. Speaking of battles, this is Wingfei Chan, and is that Dylan McClements? It is Dylan McClements, who Wingfei has just stayed ahead of. So Dylan still needs to work through the field a little bit. It's not the lofty heights he reached in Heat 3 at Donington. Took the win there, of course. He's a long way away from that here today, partially not due to his own fault, of course, involved in a couple of incidents throughout the evening.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes you are just at the whim of other drivers here, as we see Naveed Hussein leading now by 1.6 seconds. So Jordan Kelly has just taken about 0.3 of a second out of that lead the last time we saw it. So Naveed Hussein here needs to be just pumping in those lap times, trying to stay ahead. There you can see 0.265 seconds in favour of Kelly there. And the only time where Hussein managed to build a gap was when Kelly was right deep, knee-deep in a battle there. Ever since then, Kelly has been very much scything down that gap as much as possible here, and the Doctor can't buckle to any pressure in these closing stages. We're over the halfway mark of our final race of the evening. It's Naveed Hussein who leads from Jordan Kelly, Rory O'Shea and Ronan Doherty. We could see a 4-car battle here for the lead of the race at the final time of asking. Go on, you know you want to, drivers. Give it to us. Give us that 4-car battle. Well, we have a 2-car battle here for third place, as Rory O'Shea is trying to fend off the attack from Ronan Doherty as they head their way through and towards Portimao. Heading our way now in towards turn 12, now towards turn 13. Rory O'Shea here, is it wise him defending as hard as he is right now? And he could be sort of saying to Ronan, look, let's work together here. Let's catch the guys ahead first. Then we can squabble a little bit later down the line. Clearly, though, they want to put the battle first.
Yes, I know I allude to the Formula 4 Championship, but we had a 4-car battle for the win at Snetterton, and honestly, it's never left my mind since. Another 4-car fight here would be well welcomed by us, by the viewers at home, and Ronan Doherty is going to try and put himself in an even better position if there is that, because he is up and ahead of Rory O'Shea. Doherty onto the podium. O'Shea runs a little bit wide, but won't be able to get close to Ronan in towards the right-hander. He is up and is ahead. The gap is closing between Naveed Hussein and Jordan Kelly, but if they start fighting, these two are ready to pounce. This could be a good one as we're getting into the final stages of heat number 3. Oh, this is getting tasty.
It is indeed, and Lawrence de Sosva here fancies his chances against Kevin Joyce here. Runs a little bit deep in towards Torre Vip here, but it might work with him because he'll get the power down, and he should, in theory, be able to build the momentum better as we head our way through towards turn 6 and 7 here. It's a good battle for 6th place on the cards, but a great battle for the lead of this race then. There is Naveed Hussein, Jordan Kelly right behind him. This is our battle for the lead, and this is Naveed Hussein who's trying to hold off Jordan Kelly. Jordan Kelly looking for a hat-trick of victories here tonight. It's only Naveed Hussein right now who is standing, or at least placing the car directly in his way. Let's see what the Doctor can do from here.
This is a fantastic battle developing. Let's see how Jordan Kelly sort of goes for this one. How is he going to try and get the move done? Down in towards the first corner, you can see the 007 just slowly being clawed in. The slipstream very powerful in these Super Formula lights, and Jordan Kelly is just waiting in the wings to slip out, get the move done in towards the first corner, and Jordan Kelly is ahead. Now, can Naveed Hussein keep with Kelly? That's the crucial thing here, or maybe even have another go in towards turn number 3. No, backs out of it for now, just opts for the safe approach. It's not over just yet. Hussein can still stick with Kelly. Slipstream from almost the second back in these cars, so he's still well within a fight here. Ronan Doherty and Rory O'Shea will only be hoping that these two fight even more to give them a chance of a first win of the season.
Yeah, it's a bit of a rock and a hard place now for Naveed Hussein. He knows he has to push on to try and catch and keep up with Jordan Kelly, but you absolutely cook your tyres if you are pushing so aggressively here. And on a track that's already, you could almost say boiling hot at 54 degrees Celsius, you might as well with the tyres and the rubber at that point. We already heard from Jordan Kelly that he, even in clean air, with pressing on, he was finding that the track was becoming a little bit of an ice rink. There was so little grip out there. When you're following a car and you're pushing on and you're trying to catch them, it gets even worse. The tyres get even more hot. So you might find that the car gets even more twitchy, even more slippery. The braking distances get increased just slightly more. And in those scenarios, in that sort of high pressure, the pressure cooker scenario, probably an apt term for it, you really do have to keep your cool in that scenario. 4-car battle here as we head towards the last 5.5 minutes of this race. Then Jordan Kelly leads the way with Naveed Hussain behind him, Ronan Doherty and Rory O'Shea rounding off the top 4.
Yeah, still very close to the front, still close throughout the field, and you can just see all 4 within the helicopter shot in towards the first corner. The gap currently between Jordan Kelly and Naveed Hussain, that is 0.7 of a second, fluctuating of course as they go in towards the corners, but Naveed Hussain doing a good job nonetheless, as Kelly has led for a full lap now, but he's used to leading at the front. When he gets in front, he can usually pull away, so it's up to Naveed to not let him do that, not let Jordan Kelly have it as own way, and that's exactly the pressure he needs to put on, because that's a rare error from Jordan Kelly. Big slide out of the corner, very well held, mind you. Game on.
Game on indeed, but I did notice that there was a slight lock-up from Kelly in towards Lagos there, so I wonder if that had some sort of contributing factor to that loss of back end out of Torre Vic. In the meantime, though, Naveed Hussain has really closed up now. In towards Portimao we go. 2 different lines being taken here. Naveed Hussain opting to try and pick up an early apex, get the power down earlier as we head away through in towards turn 12. There's Rory O'Shea, who's watching on, popcorn in hand at the moment. Oh, loses the back end there. A huge snap going through turn 13, manages to gather it back up there. But look at Naveed Hussain now all over the back of Jordan Kelly. I think for Kelly here, there's going to be a saving grace of a bit of lappery with a bit of slipstream here. Naveed Hussain has ramped up the pressure with less than 4 minutes to go. They head their way down the start-finish straight. The bit of lappery does jump out of the way. Here's Naveed Hussain on the back of Jordan Kelly. Goes to the right-hand side of the track. That was always closing. Hussain has to back out of it. And as we head our way down towards turn 1 here, that could have been an airplane crash for sure. But Jordan Kelly holds on to the lead of this race. Naveed Hussain chasing him all the way.
I thought Hussain was in the pit wall there for a second, hence the probably unneeded scream, but it was a bit of a paradox between the red car of Naveed Hussain and the red wall, but that was very close, and I'd say Naveed Hussain, oh, he's gone for it, down into the hairpin. I was going to say, I'd say Naveed had a little bit, or might need a change of a race suit after that one, and I'd say Jordan Kelly probably did as well, because he thought Naveed was lunging him down in towards that hairpin, but it's still so close between these two at the top, and there's not much to separate them. This is going to be a thrilling final few laps.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where you thought, oh no, they are actually going to collide. It was Jordan Kelly moving over as sort of thing, thinking, now Naveed's not going to stick a nose down the inside here. And Naveed instantly saying, I'm going to stick a nose down the inside here. So it almost went to pot there. And I think Ronan Doherty was almost on the edge of his seat as well, because that could have been the race lead given to him, so long as he wasn't caught up with it, because he's so close behind this this duo. Made it a trio now, and Rory O'Shea is going to make it a quartet as we head into the closing stages of this race. Then, I mean, if you had any chance to top up your popcorn, now might be too late, because we're heading into the last 2 minutes and 20 seconds of this race. We only have 2 laps to go here on the grand scheme of things. Jordan Kelly leads, Naveed Hussain in second place. Here goes Hussain then. He's closing and closing on Kelly. Is he close enough to try and move then? He'll certainly look to the outside. Jordan Kelly shuts the door that time around, and perhaps Hussain just filling the mirrors of Jordan Kelly, now looking for a move down the inside in towards Lagos there, just trying to get Jordan Kelly off the line, off of his rhythm here, to see if he can force a move open. He's got to be careful about doing that though, because knock knock, guess who? It's Ronan Doherty.
Yes, here is Ronan Doherty. Can he launch an attack down in towards the hairpin? No, very composed driver is Ronan, and the composure just showing there. Didn't go for the move there at that very early stage. We're getting towards the end of the race as well, of course. 18 minutes and 30 seconds into it. Is that about 2 more laps maybe, Kieran? Oh, big slide there for Naveed Hussain. It was almost no more laps for him.
It was almost no more laps. I would assume this is our penultimate lap of this race then, as Jordan Kelly lines them through then in towards Portimao we go. Oh, a little bit of a lock up there from Ronan Doherty, almost running into the back of Naveed Hussain, and that could be his chance of battling for a top 2 place done and dusted. He'll now be hoping that Jordan Kelly and Naveed Hussain battle hard so that he can reel himself back in. He might get his wish then through the penultimate corner they go. Naveed Hussain opting for an early apex. He'll wash out wide here, but now with Jordan Kelly priming his sights here, the doctor's not letting this one go. It's going to have to be surgical precision now as we head away over the hill we go. And here we go then. This is the final lap. Naveed Hussain this time draws himself alongside Jordan Kelly. They're running side by side now down towards Primera. Neither of them are going to blink. Neither of them are going to give an inch here through and towards the first corner. Jordan Kelly holds on to the lead. How about Naveed Hussain? He goes for it now down in towards Lagos. A little bit of a lock up there. Jordan Kelly has to leave the room, and Naveed Hussain takes over the lead of this race. But as we head away over the hill in towards turn 4, it is far from finished here.
Look at this down in towards Torre Veep. Naveed Hussain defends Jordan Kelly, the reigning RTA champ, goes clean around the outside. He's not able to get it done fully though, needs good traction. It's so close in towards the right-hander. Jordan Kelly's not able to get ahead. Naveed Hussain leads on the final lap of heat number 3 here at the Algarve International Circuit. Jordan Kelly, is he going to be able to dive it in towards turn number 10 and 11? You'd like to think so. This is really one of his last opportunities. Goes for the outside, looks for the inside, but Naveed Hussain manages to stay ahead. It's almost the last gasp attempt for Jordan Kelly. He's about 2 more corners to go for it to keep this trio of wins alive down towards the greys of turn 14. Hussain positions his car perfectly. Jordan Kelly might be able to get the slipstream round through Galp, but he has got his firing partner Ronan Doherty right behind. Hussain goes for the defensive line. Kelly tries to swap back to get the move. It's going to be a drag race to the line, but Kelly's had a snap. Naveed Hussain is home and dry. How do you cure a hat-trick? You prescribe a win yourself. The doctor is well and truly in. Naveed Hussain picks up his first win of the season.
Wow! 0.15 seconds. The top 3 across the line. What an absolutely brilliant battle. That was being sized up with 10 minutes to go. And when Jordan Kelly got that move, you thought, here we go again. But the doctor had other ideas then. Absolutely brilliant racing all around here. Ronan Doherty also throwing his hat into the ring at the end there, and I think he'll feel a bit hard done by there. He lost that back end on the penultimate lap, and I think that's what decided. He could have been well up into that battle then, might have even been challenging towards the line. Nevertheless, really good stuff from him to get 3rd place at the death there. Dylan McClements we see make his way across the line in P18. I mean, we stuck with the top 4 a lot in that race, but I think, Evan, it's very easy to see why. Huge amount of respect for all 4 of those involved, and it granted us probably what will be probably one of the races of the season. So far, we're only at round 2.
Oh, that was just brilliant. That's everything RTA is about from top to bottom. A super squeaky clean battle, fabulous racing, and it was close until the death. What a round of applause from me, firstly, for all involved in that one, because that was scintillating. We see Jared Thornton rounding in 23rd. Sorry to anyone who was lower than 4th there, because for the last couple of laps we couldn't take our eyes off that, as Kieran alluded to earlier, but still some fabulous results around the field. Kamto Chukwuka picking up great points for the evening, as did Lawrence de Soswa. But really for the full results now, it is of course Dr. Naveed Hussain who wins his first RTA race of the season, and Jordan Kelly in 2nd. Ronan Doherty in 3rd, Rory O'Shea in 4th, Sean McClements in 5th, Kevin Joyce in 6th, with Lawrence de Soswa in 7th. Then it is Kamto Chukwuka in 8th, ahead of Peter McCann in 9th, and pole to the Simran Thacker still manages to pick up a top 10.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And then we have Conor Melia in 11th place, Wing Fei Chan in 12th, John McDonald in 13th place with Alexander Milchen in 14th place, Brian McManus in 15th with Philip Upson in 16th place. Then it's Tony Stack in 17th place, Dylan McClements in 18th, Sean McGoldrick in 19th place, and Stuart Brereton rounding off our top 20.
Yeah, then we look a little bit further back. It is Simon Hutchings in 21st, and then Gary Corran, Jared Thornton, Aaron Dalton, Eric Courier, Colin O'Regan, Sebastian Schloten, Jamal Gandor, David Prunty, Nigel O'Brien, and Finlay Melvin. Oh, sorry, and Jason Lingard as well. Apologies. Well, I think it's time we hear from some interviews. I don't believe we have Naveed Hussain to talk to. We do actually. Apologies. He just joined the interview room just as I was saying that. Let's hear from Naveed now. Naveed, congratulations. It is your first win of the season. You left that one till the last minute, but that has to be an enjoyable win for sure.
Yeah, it was good crack. Yeah, I'm pretty happy to have won that, but I made a lot of mistakes. Like I got like 2 slowdowns. Yeah, and the guys just caught back up, and then I just fought for my life. But it was really good, fair racing from those guys. So I was pretty happy. Pretty happy. Some crazy moves going on here and there, but it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
It was, I believe, 1/10 of a second that separated yourself and Jordan. You fought with him at the first heat. You fought with him there again at the end. Was it nice to finally get one over Jordan this season?
It was nice to win. It was nice to win. Not really good in single seaters, so yeah, I'm kind of trying to get a little bit experience in them, and to be able to race against Jordan and Rory and stuff, and the guys at the front is pretty good to begin with. So I'm happy enough. Yeah.
And then in terms of the track tonight, it was very difficult for a lot of people. How did you find it out there?
It was really slippy. It's like everybody was complaining about the rain last week, and then it feels like there's less grip this week than there was last week, especially towards the end of the races. It was pretty tricky, yeah. It was pretty tricky, but enjoyable. So yeah, more of this to come, hopefully.
David, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations once again. That's probably one of the best races we've watched. So thank you for that, and we hope to see you again in the winner's circle soon.
Cheers, thank you.
Let's hear from the second place man, Jordan Kelly, then with Kieran.
One come out of the second.
Thank you very much, Jordan. Second place for you, but my goodness, what a battle in those last 10 minutes. To come second place in that one is no mean feat. Talk us through it, because that was absolutely epic from our point of view. How was it from you?
Yeah, it was an interesting last couple laps there. One of the laps there, I got the car sideways, and I was lucky to even catch the car, and lost so much time, which allowed Naveed back into the toe, and the toe is just so strong in the main straight, so it's just so hard to defend. And then Naveed tried to get to the inside of the wall, and kind of gave me a wee touch, which gave me wheel damage, and I was just struggling in the last couple laps. But that last lap was something else now, to be fair.
I was going to say that if you did have wheel damage, was that sort of a tail to tail in the final corner? Because we saw you had a bit of a snap out of the final corner on the final lap there. Was that anything to do with it? And in essence, is that something that may have just cost you that vital bit of slipstream?
I think I just wasn't paying attention. So I was trying to kind of get in behind Naveed, and he stayed to the right, so I was trying to turn more, which let the rear loose. So it was just a wee bit unfortunate that way. But my car, once I got the wheel damage, it just would not turn left properly, so it was just messing up completely. But no, it was a good battle with Naveed. Now we had a good few clean battles in them races, so hopefully get more of that now in the next couple rounds.
Yeah, we hope so too. You've got to be careful not to sort of expire our voices, because it's going on our highlight reels. I'm sure it's going on yours as well, because there were some great moves out there. But pretty much almost a flawless round for you tonight. You're getting quite familiar with these, Jordan. 2 wins out of 3 tonight, with the other one being a podium. Almost maximum points for you tonight.
Yeah, it was a good night. The start of the race didn't go to plan. I kind of had to sit behind and just pick off one by one, because you don't want to get involved in any stupid crashes or anything. So I eventually got back up to Naveed then, but it was a good race.
Great stuff, Jordan. Congratulations. I mean, it certainly made our night to the checkered flag in that 4-car battle. Go and relax after that one. I'm sure you'll probably need it. But congratulations on your 2 wins tonight, Jordan.
Well, thanks, you.
And we'll throw over now to third place in that race. A driver who had only downloaded the track tonight. Ronan Doherty is with Evan.
Yeah, Ronan, did you enjoy that last lap battle? Because you probably had the best view of it.
I not really, because I messed up the lap before that, and then, to be honest, I was I sort of had it planned the whole time. I was going to let Jordan go and then let him get up to Naveed because I knew for whatever reason I'm way quicker at the end of the race than the start of the race. Like at the start, it was maybe 2 or 3 tenths off. So then I got myself in the position I wanted to be in, just right behind the two of them, ready to take advantage of whatever was happening. But Naveed was backing up big time, and I didn't. I wasn't anticipating him to hit the brakes so early, so I had to go wide to avoid hitting Jordan, and that just brought me back a little bit. But it was a great run to the line, and fair play to the other two lads as well, and Rory.
When you see two guys right in front of you on the last lap go side by side, is there secretly something in the back of your mind that's hoping they both run wide and you can sneak through?
Oh, it's no secret, like, of course, yeah, hoping for that to happen. I did think they might hit each other, like Naveed's been in a few crashes tonight, and I could see Jordan didn't want to give the lead away as well, so unfortunately for me, but fortunate for them, they kept it together, and it was a clean run to the line.
Another difficult challenge next week then. We head to the Nürburgring. It's different to Donington Park and Portimao, but how'd you find that track then? Is it one that you like? Is it one that you hate?
Well,
you bought it yet?
I do have
downloaded
it.
it
I
yet?
do have the Nürburgring, indeed. Jeez, I hope it's not the Nordschleife. I absolutely hate. Well, not hate it, but cannot be
I
bothered.
don't think we can do super
Yeah,
formulas around the Nordschleife.
it would be. You'd have plenty to talk about anyway. No, I like the GP track. It's nice and technical actually. So I'm going to do a bit of practice for it and see if I can be the fastest around that. Hopefully, and yeah, it should be fun.
I hope it's the Nordschleife now. Thank you very much, Ronan, for joining us. Congratulations on the 2 podiums, and I'm sure we'll be hearing from you again at some point this season.
Here, lads, keep her country.
Keep her country is the last words from Ronan Doherty. We'll explain that to Kieran off stream.
No, I know that. If it's
Oh.
not red, keep it in the shed. Come on now, I know this.
Oh yeah, actually, is Kieran arguably more country than me and Ronan Hederman? That's also a discussion for after. The difficult discussion now, which is probably the difficult discussion being my catchphrase for this discussion every week, should probably be copyrighted at some point. It's the driver of the day vote. Kieran, any suggestions?
Well, I think there was a mixed bag all the way through the field. There were drivers that sort of won places, lost places, all the way through the field. I think you really have to look at those drivers that were very consistent tonight, and I think Rory O'Shea was one of them. You know, he got 2, I think it was, what was it now? I have to look back now. A 2nd place in the first race, 2nd place in the second race, and then was battling away in that top 3, 4th place. And if you think about it, he didn't lose a single place in the overall standings the whole night. So I think that's a huge candidate there for me. Yes, he was up and about there, scoring some good points tonight, and yeah, a much needed return to some rich reign of form for Rory O'Shea.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think that's a good driver of the day candidate. Now, not my driver of the day candidate this, but another guy I'd like to give a shout out to is Sean McClemens, who had a fairly consistent evening. I think Rory O'Shea just that tad bit better, but a good evening from Sean. There was a lot of good evenings around. Kamto Chukwa, another man who was fairly solid. But I think we'll call it a Rory O'Shea driver of the day performance. Congratulations, Rory, your Gantry TV driver of the day for Portimao.
Stuff. You're a poet and you didn't even know you were rhyming those words.
No, I've been studying way too much poetry in the last few days. But that is it, I think, for this evening. It's a shame to have to end what was such a fabulous evening. Kieran, I think going by the first 2 rounds, we have potentially one of the best series in the world at the moment for pure entertainment.
I mean, it's one of those you could just watch that race again and again and again. You would never get bored. 4-way battle for the lead, decided on the final lap. Absolutely squeaky clean racing. Okay, a little bit into the wall there, a bit of miscommunication, but Jamal Gandor comes out on top in the final race, stops the hat trick. But
I don't think Jamal Gandor did come out on top in the final race, Kieran.
Sorry, not Jamal Gandor. What am I talking about? It's got to me. The race has got to me. Evan, take over. I've of course meant Dr. Naveed in Spain. What's wrong with me? This race has ruined me. I'm signing off.
It was David Hussein, funnily enough, who took the win in the final race, and you can see the brilliant move on your screen now. Before we end it, let's just have a look at that once again from Jordan Kelly, and then side by side in the exit. Absolutely fabulous. But folks, once again, thank you very much for your support here. We head to the Nürburgring next week for the third round of this fabulous Super Formula Lights Championship. A big thanks to Kieran McGinley for joining me. A big thanks to Ronan Hederman behind the scenes as always, and everyone who makes these fantastic series happen. You know where to find us, YouTube or Facebook, next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Be there or be square. A big thanks from myself, Evan Dalton. Stay safe, stay well, and slán go fóill.